Flop comes down 9-5-4, and we've got top set of nines, but we're out of position against a Maniac, $35,000 deep. What is going to happen here? All right, everybody, welcome. High Stakes Pot Limit Omaha Week special event to celebrate the Upswing Poker's new Pot Limit Omaha course that was released today. I'm going to be going over some of my favorite, biggest Pot Limit Omaha moments of all time at High Stakes PLO with my buddy Dylan Weissman, aka Dr. GTO. He's one half of the team that created the new Upswing Poker Pot Limit Omaha course. So when I go over my hands with him, he's going to be talking about how we might play it differently in 2020 versus back then. Also, for people who sign up through the course with my link below, we're doing a big giveaway with the greatest giveaways in the history of giveaways, in the entire history of life itself. We're going to be giving away a Vegas experience, this World Series of Poker. Me and my buddy Jonah, a former Wizard assistant, are putting it together. It's going to be awesome, man. We're going to take somebody out here. We're going to show them Vegas around, out-of-line lifestyle. We'll give them a VIP tour of the World Series of Poker, the poker world in Vegas. You'll get to meet my friends. You'll meet some people in poker you might know. We got some special events in mind. It's going to be a great time. We're going to choose one person who signs up below. I also put all the Pot Limit Omaha content that I've ever made into a folder. People want to watch some more entertaining PLO content, and I also put a couple extra videos in there as well too for people. Also for people who sign up this week before March 6th at midnight, they're giving away a live Pot Limit Omaha Dominance course, extra $4.99 value. You're going to get that for the first week of sign up. So this course, they've been working at it for the past 6 months. Dylan, he's been a long-time Pot Limit Omaha player. I brought him with me on Live at the Bike. He's on commentary with me. He did commentary with me at the World Series of Poker during one of the tournaments. He's been on my podcast before. You're going to see him all this week breaking down my content. This is the guy I go to when I want to get excited to talk about Pot Limit Omaha. This man is one of the best teachers that I personally know. The other half is going to be one of the top high-stakes Pot Limit Omaha players on WorldSeriesPoker.com. His name is Chris. When you hear this guy talk, you're not going to be surprised to find out that this guy's one of the top PLO players, because this guy lives and breathes solver work for PLO. These guys have been basically working with a solver, putting this course together on a consistent basis, maybe almost daily for these past 6 months. So this is up-to-date, current, top, high-level Pot Limit Omaha strategy for everybody out there. And listen, man, let's sell the course. Let's make the games harder for everybody. It is what it is. Welcome to 2020 Poker Strategy. I'm going to be on a podcast with Dylan tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll talk more with him, too. That's it, guys. Make sure you like the video. If you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel for all the BLO videos this week, and let's get into it. All right, we got Dr. GTO in the house here, Dylan Weissman. He's gonna be going over my hands, my poker hands, my biggest hands. I don't know if the series is gonna be called yet, Dylan, but so let's get into this first one, man. So we're going old school here. This is September 17th, 2012. The midst of a massive upswing for me. I think at this time, my confidence is riding high. I'm up hundreds of thousands of dollars for the year, maybe $500,000-$600,000 at this time. And it's going well. You can see this lineup, a couple of legends in there. We got Ben 86. We got Zygmunt, Hillary Finn. This hand's going to be against Turkin 89. Was a regular guy who popped in. I mean, I don't know much about the guy, but he always seemed to run up big stacks. The Liar is a regular tough player from Thailand. I think it was his country at some point in time, and don't really know where he's exactly from. And Chip Uniter, maybe it was the weaker player here, but he definitely had his moments. He was kind of maniac. So we got our hand here. Let's get into it. So we got the Jack 9, 9, 10 double suited here, Dylan. And what we're going to see here is we're going to see the Liar is going to open it from the undergun +1. And then Zygmunt's going to call on the button, and Jack, 9, 9, 10. I'm going to go ahead and call the big blind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what I was thinking at the time, what I would do differently, and then we'll kind of go over it from there. Dylan will give me some suggestions, some ideas on what's up to the current strategies in 2020 for the great game Pot Limit Omaha here. Mm-hmm. So I go ahead and call here. In retrospect, I think I would still call. We're $35,000 deep here with the button. Hillary, I think Hillary is going to have a pretty wide range. He certainly played a lot of hands. I think his VPIP was somewhere around the 40 mark, which means that he's calling super wide, right? Just a lot of different hands, a lot of weak double-suited hands, a lot of single-suited ace-high hands, king-high hands, type of thing like that. The Liar was a pretty active player for the most part, but I don't think he's opening up that wide with a guy like Zygmunt on the button. I think these guys are all good regulars, aware of what's happening here. So flat calling here, do you think that's a pretty standard player? What do you think?
I think that flat calling this, if we were 300 big blinds deep, it's fine. But because the Liar is 100 big blinds effective, this is on the cusp between a 3-bet and a call. I think that if you were to if you were to try to find the correct solution, if you're at 100 bigs, this might be right on the cusp of our 3-betting range because it still has decently robust equity. We're still going to be able to flop dominating straights. 2 flush draws is really good.
We got a lot of noobs watching, Dylan.
Sorry.
You got
Pull it down.
You gotta explain to these guys that they're my man Jim in Kentucky don't know what robust equity
All right,
means.
I'm gonna say it again. Our hand has the ability to play well on lots of flops. It's good to generate aggression with, and it's right on the cusp of our 3-bets and calls. When there's a 100 big blind stack in the hand, you can actually treat us as being at around a 100 big blind effective stack, which means it's a 3-bet. If everyone was at 350 big blinds effective, we wouldn't be 3-betting this hand. But because we have the 100 big blind stack in the hand, this is going to be just about a 3-bet, but calling's not bad either. I say both are good choices.
I think as a default, if you're a player out there who's a little bit newer and you find yourself 350 big blinds deep, which is how a lot of live games play.
Sure.
You start 3-betting this hand, you're going to make a lot of mistakes post-flop because you're not really going to be sure what to do.
That's very valid, especially as we are out of position with a super big SPR, stack to pot ratio. Thank you.
Right, exactly.
And so I don't disagree with that, especially if you have uncomfortability and don't know how to do things like play leading ranges and stuff like that.
Right.
So
I don't think a lot of people know how to play leading ranges. I think when you work with people, right, you try to help them build a fundamental strategy out, and as they get better over time and understand more, then they start adding in more hands into the 3-bet range, and kind of like no limit, right? When you're trying to build a 3-bet bluff range or a 4-bet bluff range, right? At first you say, okay, keep it simple, right? Ace 5 suited as your bluffs, Ace 4 suited as your bluffs, and then as time goes on, as you get better, that's when you turn into Garrett Adelstein, and you're like, maybe I 4-bet the 10-4 offsuit, right?
It's a little too high.
Listen, he's my guy Garrett, you know what I mean? He's a 3-bet. All right, let's get into hand. So we flop top set 9-5-4, backdoor flush draw,
good flop,
backdoor straight draw. Not a backdoor quad draw, but we got the immediate quad draw. So you know right now we're poker hard, we're rock hard, but unfortunately we also, Potmanol players out there know, on a board of 9-5-4, a lot of bad turn cards. 3, 2, 6, ace, 7. I mean, listen, we could go 8. We can go for days, and 8's actually a pretty good card. Wait,
yeah,
6, 7.
You want the 8's like not bad.
We want to get it all in against 6, 7 if we turn the 8. But we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna make a check here, and it's gonna get checked around to my man Hillary here on the button. And he's going to bet 800. And now when I'm sitting here, top set, right, seems like an automatic check raise to me.
Yep.
Right? We have top set, especially against a loose player who is going to maybe sometimes 4-bet us here with a set of 5 type hand, set of 4 type hand, maybe a 9-5. Obviously, when you get a lot of money in here, most of the times you're going to be up against some sort of combination draw. This is a very uncomfortable spot to be in when you do check raise here because you still have a lot of money behind, and there are going to be a lot of turn cards where you're going to have to check. So in retrospect here, I think I'm still going to check raise. I want to check raise my hand for value. There's a lot of good turn cards where we can go bet and we can bet again. If a 5 or a 4, if the board pairs, we could potentially get stacks in here and we can stack the worst 2 pair. And also our hand, I don't think we're going to be check raising here super wide, or we're going to be check raising a lot of bluffs here. So we're not always going to have sets. We are going to have some combination draws as well too.
Yep.
So what do you think here? Check raise, pretty standard play.
I think check raise is the appropriate play with this hand combination for sure. Something that's really important to think about is that you don't check raise all of your sets. You're only going to check raise your top. You're going to check raise your top sets almost every time. You're going to check raise your middle sets if they have backup. So if it's like 5, 5, 6, 7.
Right. So if you got a redraw to go with that middle set, okay.
But you're not going to check raise bottom set.
We call that the fucking idiot set.
Yeah, that is we're not going to check raise the idiot set.
Do you know why we call it the fucking idiot set?
Because you get stacked a lot.
When you get all in, you feel like a fucking idiot. That's why you call it the fucking idiot set, man. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah. And
we beep. We got a lot of kids out there watching.
And for the
watching out there.
For the people that maybe want a little more of an understanding of why this is the idiot set, it's because if you have pocket 4s and the board pairs a 5 or a 9, you might not have the best full house. So taking aggression with a hand that if you make your nutted card on the turn makes you still uncomfortable isn't going to feel very good. You want to take aggression with hands that feel good to play aggression with later on in the hand. So pocket 9s, if the board pairs, we're still fucking solid, right? But easy game.
Ding! Listen, board pairs. You're counting your money. How much are we going to win here? What are we going to buy? Right?
The only small adjustment I would make to your play is you check raise the full pot here. You check raise to 3,500, and so that I would make. And this is actually something that a lot of pot limit Omaha players do, especially newer pot limit Omaha players, is when they like flop top set and it's a dynamic board. They're going to check raise pot it, and that's the only sizing they're going to use.
Right.
Generally speaking, I actually like to use maybe like a 3.2x sizing.
Do you think that's going to matter a difference, right? If you're a player out there and you're trying to build a strategy for check raise in here, are you really saying, okay, like this is a spot where we want to go 3.2 instead of pot?
I actually do think it's important.
Why is that?
The reason why it's important is because if you're check raising bigger, you have to bluff less.
Okay.
So you have to, because your bluffs are more expensive. And if you are having more expensive bluffs, that means that you restrain your aggression, right? You want to be able to make it such that you're playing with more aggression, generally speaking, because that's how you win money in PLO. Your red line never fails you. If you're generating aggression and your red line is going up, you don't have to deal with the variance as much. Like, it's much more easy to balance the game around aggression. And by using a larger sizing, you restrain your aggression. And so it's good to train yourself how to pick the appropriate bet sizings that allow you to play the most aggression. So if you're playing a full pot sizing here, it is too expensive for your bluffs. Because of how dynamic the board is, you're going to get called a lot of the time. They're not going to generate enough folds with the full pot sizing. And so you need to use a smaller sizing so your bluffs have the appropriate price. And you're not making that back up on, like, you have top set here, but if you're getting it again against like a straight and a flush draw, your top set doesn't have a ton of equity.
Right.
So you're not making as much equity with your value hands as you are losing with your bluffs by paying too much for those bluffs.
Well, I can tell you in 2012, Dylan, there was no one that was not check potting here. So
for sure,
if I would have saw someone check 3.1x or whatever here, I would have been a little confused. But no one was definitely check potting. So the standard play here,
for sure,
and most people would check pot. But as times evolve,
that's the difference,
evolve,
right?
Strategies evolve, exactly.
Yeah.
So we do check pot. And our man Zygmunt is going to go ahead and make the call. The turn is the 3 of diamonds. And now I'm sitting there. We got about $30,000 behind Dylan. And I'm saying, maybe that Ferrari might need to go on hold here. You know, I win this car, I win this hand. Maybe we go to the Ferrari dealership. Listen, I was definitely thinking about buying a Ferrari this time in my life.
That's crazy, dog.
It was rolling in, man. I was test driving.
What's it like being that rich?
I mean, I gotta say, it was pretty nice. You know, I wasn't worrying about where the next meal is coming. You go on dates, you got a little more swagger to you.
Now when the 3 of diamond comes on the turn,
you a little more excited when the 3 of diamonds comes on the turn.
She might be buying. You might be having to ask for dinner. You can't pay for dinner with the 3 of diamonds on the turn.
You meet a little bit higher class of a lady when you got 500,000 in your poker stars account right now. That swag turns up a little bit. And you're like, especially when the friends start telling you guys got 500,000 in stars, and the girls like, 500,000. Okay, I mean, listen, this is what it is. So. All right, boom. 3 of diamonds comes in the turn. We still got that top set, but now we're like, 6-7 beats us, which is going to be a hand dealer he's going to have.
For sure, very
He's
often.
also going to be a great card dealer who's going to bluff because he's most likely, if he's got the flush draw, which is one of the hands he's going to bluff with, he's going to have a 6 maybe, a deuce, or an ace. So all around, it's like right now you're like, strap on, Billy. We're riding it, right? We're going for it all here.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's your thoughts on the 3? Even here, I check in real time. Retrospect, I'm still going to go ahead and check here, but I think you have a little bit more thought out plan and idea for this spot. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. You're supposed to, I think, play a small sizing on this turn with all of your top sets. With your middle sets, these are going to start to go more into the checking range, but when you have top set, you're going to be playing about a 30, like a block sizing. And what you do in the different responses is kind of dictated by your side cards. So with your specific hand, I would play a 1/3 sizing and then fold to a raise because we don't have any spades. I know. You're actually allowed.
Bro, you asked for
the right answer.
You gotta understand though, right? If I got a chance to stack Zygmunt for a $70,000 pot, not full top set, you can't stack a guy to full top set.
Yeah, but you also can give him tons of equity, which is what you're doing. I'm just saying.
I agree, but I'm like here. Got to think about my mindset. Some people play to play perfect. I play to stack guys like Zygmunt $70,000 pots, man. Like money comes and goes, man. I'm trying to stack my man Zygmunt here.
So for all the people watching this video, we got two schools of thought. We have the I want to fucking stack Zygmunt school of thought.
The fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's have a good time.
Let's have a good time
in the process.
I respect that. But if you want to play this hand from a maybe more game theory oriented or a more solid perspective, all your top sets are going to be betting 1/3 here, and the way that they respond to aggression depends on your side cards. So let's say if you have like top set and a straight draw, obviously nothing's happening, or top set and a straight, or top set and a flush draw, that's enough to call a raise.
I can't believe you're talking about folding this hand.
You're supposed to bet fold this hand.
I'm
sorry, you asked for the answer, and this is the answer.
What about check calling here?
Check calling is okay. I think that
especially against an aggressive player who's going to be calling your check raise a bit wider than normal.
I mean, I don't think check calling is bad. Okay. I think that you make more. As I said, we're trying to balance around aggression, and you make more money by bet folding this combination. Check calling is not horrid. I'm not saying that it's like the worst play you'll ever make. In fact, it's like it's relatively close, I would say, to the
thought of folding this hand is
I know it hurts. In my heart. It hurts me to say it. I don't want to be the dude that has to fold top set, but sometimes I'm gonna do the fold top set because I'm supposed to. So
you gotta put a gun to my head to fold top set against Zygmunt.
I think that if I can teach anyone watching this video something important is that your side cards really matter with your hands, and so
that's what we've come to realize more as time goes on.
Super important. And like I'll give you a lot of people, they ask me like, yo, do you use a randomizer to determine what you're supposed to be doing in mixing spots? It's like fuck that. No, I don't need to use a randomizer. I use my side cards to modulate to adjust my frequency. I stopped using a big word.
I'm gonna be editing this out. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm gonna be editing this out. But editing with randomizer modulation.
I didn't say the word. It's like, no, you're just use your side cards.
I might put it as a blooper or something. This is a blooper part.
This is how you play this spot, though.
That's fine. Doug Polk tells me how to play the spots. He doesn't use randomizing.
Okay, so I'm gonna say these words.
Bestiality and stuff like that.
Bestiality. Oh yeah, beast mode. So here, bring it back.
Okay.
The easy way to think about this spot is you're supposed to bet your top sets, and the way that you play it is depending on your side cards. So if he raises you and your side cards are helpful, like it adds equity or it blocks their straights, you can continue. If they don't, you're supposed to fold. Easy as that.
Okay, perfect. In this spot, I check. My man Zygmunt bets $5,100, and we're never check folding.
No, you don't, no. If you check call for sure.
I'm never check folding here ever.
Yeah.
I'm praying. So my idea, my thinking here is that if the board pairs, then I have a decision. Do I want to lead or do I want to check? In my mind, I'm planning to lead here. I don't think that Zygmunt is going to be bluffing. If the board pairs and the flush misses, I don't think he's going to bet a flush draw. Now the question would be, is that if I check, will he bet a straight draw? Will he bet a straight if he does have a straight? I think that most of the straights he'd bet, maybe not ace deuce if he does have that. And I do think sometimes he hero calls with worse. So let's say he makes trips on the river. So Baird 5, 4, 3, he might call me with trips. He might call with no repair potentially. He has that type of thing like that. So I think that my game plan here would be to lead if the board pairs. And I think I would still go ahead and do that as well too.
I think that's a great idea. Leading is a super powerful tool in a pot limit Omaha player's arsenal. The best time to think about leading is when the board texture changes. So if the nuts was a straight on the turn and you only check called, and then the board pairs on the river, now there's a board texture change, which means the person who has the nuts more often also changes a lot of the time.
Right, exactly.
And so that's a great time to play a lead.
Exactly. Well, unfortunately, Dylan, the board doesn't fucking pair, and I'm not living the high life anymore. The King of Hearts goes on the river, and my man, I checks and he pots it quickly, and I'm like, oh my god, no. So you gotta understand, guys, right? Like I've played a lot of big pots, but I mean, you know, this is
a lot of money.
This is shaping up to be what a $50-some thousand pot. At the time, I didn't really play too many $50,000 pot. I'm thinking if I call him loser and I lose $50,000 pot, like. You know, I mean, listen,
not feeling good about it.
I'm not feeling good about it. Yeah. So I check my man pots, and now in retrospect, I'm still not folding.
All right.
I think he might be over bluffing here a little bit too much. What are your thoughts?
I think that you're supposed to call some pocket nine combinations, but the ones that block his straights. So I think that this one's supposed to be a fold, and if you have a six in your hand, it's a call every time. If you have a 7, you can mix it. But with this combination, when we don't block any of the straights, like obviously not having spades is really good because
you don't block.
We don't block the spades. But it's more important as ranges get narrower. Like as we go on in streets, blocker effects are just way more important than your absolute hand strength. And so having a 6 in your hand makes this a call, but not having any of the straights blocked makes it a fold, I think. And it's hard against Zygmunt because Zygmunt's a fucking animal.
Right. Yeah, so is there any scenario where your opponent might be over bluffing here where you decide exploitively you're going to make a call?
Obviously, so one of the cool things about knowing the baseline correct strategies is that you can deviate from them.
Exactly.
And if my opponent is an absolute maniac, isn't playing linearly or isn't like thinking about shit, just like incoherently bluffing it off, yeah, maybe you can call here.
Right.
I do think that it's more important though, especially with ranges this narrow, to have blockers. And so maybe every once in a while, if your opponent is just like not even thinking about the game of poker, like he's just value betting king 4 on the river or something like that, yes, we can call with pocket 9s.
I've seen guys like that.
Yeah, no, they exist, and it's important to adjust given the opponent you're playing against, right? I'm not going to say that that's not a real thing, but I do think it's important to understand what makes, like, let's say for example you have a maniac and you have 996, snap call, pay the money, take the nice ladies out to dinner, not even thinking about it, right? and against somebody who's playing maybe
ladies.
more.
How many ladies going to dinner with, buddy?
I'm saying for you.
You think I'm going to be taking a few ladies out there? I mean,
you want a $50,000?
2012, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I am taking a couple ladies out. 2020, Big Poppy ain't taking a bunch of ladies out. To be honest with you, be a girl going to go out, have a nice meal.
Yeah. Maybe go to
sushi samba,
go to yoga
like
afterwards. See a nice show afterwards.
Maybe see like a little Rev at the Win, right?
Ooh, that sounds like a nice show. Yeah,
definitely. You got an edible in your mouth, something like that. 2012, right? He maybe had something different kind of going on in that body of his. Maybe it wasn't
for sure.
A
little more ruckusy.
A little more ruckusy,
definitely. But yeah,
they're watching a show at 4 a.m., a little light show, something like that.
Unfortunately, I don't know how much ruckus there's going to be against Zygmunt when you call here without any blockers. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be hard.
Well, Dylan, we've seen the result of this hand, unfortunately, you guys at home have not seen it. My man Zygmunt turns over the deuce 4-6-3. My life's in shambles.
The deuce 4-6-3 rainbow on the button, calling the raise.
Oh my God, Zygmunt, you crushes my soul. $55,000 pot. What do we think about my man Zygmunt's play here? So he flops the Colombian wrap here on the flop. And then he turns the second nut straight, and then he, what do you think about his play? Pretty standard bet size turn by him, 54, 51 into 81. What do you think?
Turn bet sizing seems okay. I think going geometric is okay, like 2/3, 2/3. I think preflop is
run geometric. What do you think about geometric?
So never mind. Sorry. No,
geometric,
I think that his bet sizing was fine. Preflop is atrocious. Flop is also pretty bad.
Pre-flop is atrocious. This is pot limit.
You have deuce 3-4. You don't have any
suits. A lot of straights.
You can't flop a flush, and your straights are big. Like he doesn't even have the nuts straight. This is the best thing you can hope for, and he doesn't make the nuts.
I'm not recommending anyone fold the 2-4-6-3.
That is not true. Joe Ingham does not play deuce 3-4-6 rainbow on the button. Do not listen to this man. Do not try to get him.
How many drinks have I had?
Oh, that's a good. Yeah, if it's like 3 a.m. at the Win, you're not.
If it's 3 a.m. at the Win and it's 6-handed, I'm 100. I am literally playing this hand 100% of the time. Right?
That I believe.
Exactly.
That's
the Win, right?
That's
it's live.
That's fair.
5-5-10, where people are playing out of line ranges as well. But when you're playing against people who are playing solid ranges or tough players post flop, you probably don't want to get yourself in 2-4-6-3. I mean, really, you don't want to. I mean, come on.
I'm gonna also say something about the flop bet. So it looks like he's got a really good hand, right? He's got a wrap, and wraps are really good.
Colombian wrap.
So you have to be checking some of your straight draws on this flop, and even checking some of your wraps. And it's better to check the worst ones than the better ones. And so his flop bet, I also think, is very poor. Especially because you're going to be able to just generate tons of value by hitting your straight on the turn, and you're not going to be, and you generate more value by doing that than fold equity. You're going to be betting your bigger wraps, and you're going to be betting like your wraps with flush draws, or your straight draws and flush draws. But this hand specifically, I'm actually more comfortable putting into my checking range.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wish that Alari Finn would sit into my games nowadays. That'd be pretty fun.
I think he'd take you.
Think you can take me?
I get him right now, man. I know he's in Finland right now. He probably just got done drinking about
fly him out for the World Series.
Man, Zygmunt's a legend, bro.
Put me heads up against him. I'm not gonna say he's not a legend. I'm gonna say that I would play him heads up for as much money as he wants to. I feel comfortable saying that.
Okay.
Yeah. If you set it up, we'll make it happen.
What do you, Phil Galfon? What do you?
No, I'm not.
Worldwide challenge.
No, I'm not.
7-1 playing Royal One's poker right now.
0%. I'm not that rich.
New school versus old school. What's happening
here,
man? Okay. I mean, listen, I'm ready to watch it, man. All right. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like button. Share it with your friends if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel. We got more videos coming up this week and all throughout this year. I want to thank my guy, Mr. Dr. GTO, Dylan Weissman, course on Upswing Poker.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be either out now or
March
out very
2nd.
soon.
March 2nd.
March 2nd. Affiliate Poppy, he's in the mix. He's got a couple videos where he fires you up. I'm just yelling these fucking videos, man. I'm fired up.
I'm so happy to have you as an affiliate. It makes my heart feel. I would rather nobody,
no
one else on the planet Earth. You ain't gonna make
a 37-minute video.
No one else on the planet Earth.
Big Poppy's working too hard, doing his job too well. Oh, okay, all right. Cut the Big Poppy. He's doing it too good.
Did someone make a video about that with you?
No, I don't know. Let's wrap it up. Take care, guys. Peace out.
Later, fam.